Hey everyone, this is Pooja here, and welcome to VR Ethics Podcast, your business podcast where we talk about technology, innovation, marketing, and many more. Recently, we are running a series of a product, and the name of the series called Inside Products, and we talk about different phases and important topics which is related to product and much more things. Today, we are going to talk about UX UI designing for the product and how does one can consider the designing is one of the key area in the whole product development lifecycle journey and execution. Today we have a very amazing creative person with us, Jiva. She is a part of Etherix team and working as an UX UI designer and strategies. Hi, so let's start with talking about on our second episode of Inside Product about UX UI when it comes to product. So we'll be beginning with very first basic round that tell us about yourself, Jiva. What makes you jump into this industry and how do you deal with your daily stuff?
Uh, okay, hi. Myself Jeevatharani. I'm a digital product designer. So my story is like dates back to my school days. So in my childhood, I was more driven to art forms, but not particularly into creative arts like portrait, drawing, painting, and all. I was more driven to street play. I was more driven to conceptual service design, how things are interconnected. I was fascinated about it, but I didn't know there is a term for it and there is something called problem solving, but I was always having a connection to it because
Right.
whenever we prepare for a debate or a street play, we do follow a process, right? We
Right.
define a problem, we come with a solution, but I don't know if there is a field about it. But I was pretty much fascinated about it when people were asking me what do you want to become. I didn't know what the term is actually to tell that I'm actually looking to step inside. So as every typical Indian, I also landed in engineering. I understand it to figure out what I'll be doing in my future. So thank God there was a design team in our college. So
Okay.
I was okay, let me give it a try. Then when I stepped inside, initially it was like more like graphic designing only. Then fortunately one of our senior got placed into this user experience field. Then that was the
Okay.
first time okay, this is the term that I have been looking for since my childhood. Then I started. That was my debut, I think.
Okay,
Employment.
that's great. Looks like really, kind of a fancy story, but at least you know that now you have jumped into something very creative and you are enjoying it. So that's the most interesting and important part. Uh, so if we talk about product or designing, before we jump into more technical stuff or something, what basic things that one should consider when we're talking about designing a product or UX UI stuff is maybe a detailed one, but a simple design mindset. How does it look like?
Yeah, that's a very good question actually because the design industry itself is booming in India for like since only like past 5 years or something.
Right,
People are talking about more design stuff like UX, UI. Even though they are not aware of the meaning, at least the terminologies are revolving around. It has become a buzzword. As products are evolving, customers' needs and requirements are also evolving. But there are a lot of problems are also evolving because we have a lot of population. We have like a lot of like extremely updating technology with us, which we are not able to cope up with
right,
because design is staying static and our technology is booming like in an exponential way. So we have to match it up at some point of time. So that's
right,
where lots of problems are blooming. So design as a mindset should be there with everybody in a product team or anybody who's stepping into a business, be it a tech business or whatever it is. So design is not just an artistic form. It's not the end product. Design starts from the right beginning where you think about the problem, where you think about what solution am I going to bring it up, why would the user need my solution. Right
right,
from that point, I think design starts, and all throughout the journey design stays with us. Every decision what we make is backed up by a design decision which has certain strategies too. Then yeah This might contradict with marketing and research as well. We can't tell only design is the soul of it. We can tell design and marketing are like allies all throughout the journey, and design will give soul to your product.
Right, it's a
That's
part
what
of
I
very crucial part which people may be not
yeah.
considering while building or like visualizing their idea to some MVP. But they should, ideally they should keep in mind that we should consider the design as a one of the crucial phase while thinking about the stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
So I have come across few people, and even they have asked me, or like they have some myths or statement around that uh, uh, if product is not funded, or if you are working on a small idea, or maybe it's a small scale execution, you don't require a design. Is it true? I mean, uh, pe-
Alright, no, no. I don't think that works actually. Let me put it this way. Let's say that a 10th standard kid is doing a science project. He should also do a design process, which he might not be aware of. He should have a proper planning. He should know what area he is performing in. He should know what agenda it is, what problem he is attacking, what is the process he would undergo, and what is his end result.
right.
Similarly, step into a product, be it funded or not funded, we should have a process to justify our product and why we have done it and what is our roadmap ahead and everything. So I feel design is essential, but the affordness it will vary obviously because if it's funded, then obviously we can afford for a design team like bunch of designers with fancy titles like content strategy designer. There are a lot of titles booming up these
Right.
days, like UX writer and motion designer, UX choreographer. So there are a lot of fancy terms
Okay, I
revolving around.
heard choreographer for the first time, but okay, now I have to look into deep more.
Yeah. So every day there is a new title booming up. I think uh, be it funded or not funded, design is a mandatory thing. You will be at least needing a solo designer with you while you are starting out at the early stage. If you can't afford for a designer at that stage, then it's not rocket science. You can just Google it up. There are a lot of free resources out there. You yourself
Okay.
as an entrepreneur, you can get an idea. Okay, this is how I'm going to frame my product. Okay, let me start because design is something which will allow you to fail fast.
Right,
So you
right, right.
can, yeah, you can pick up like you can understand. Okay, this is what will happen if I implement it. Because if you deploy a product, then come back to your whiteboard, then there is a lot of revenue loss, right? So it's
And
better.
a lot of efforts and time which already consumed somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's not always necessary that we should deal with designers. If you, even if you are running out of maybe a budget or time, at least spend as an entrepreneur or as a founder, at least
yeah,
spend some time on understanding the design concepts, and at least at your level try to implement it, right?
exactly. Yeah, the more the ability we have to empathize with our users, the more good product we will get at the end of it. So that is what I would say. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think that's very interesting thing that people mostly don't say, if as especially if they are a designer. But this is, I think, really important for people who are starting their journey as a founder or as a uh, co-founder or entrepreneur and working on something like focus on design even by yourself, right? That's nice. Okay, so if we are starting with understanding that if one should start on UX UI designing or focusing on certain elements, what are the key important areas that they should start with, or what your according to you, how does the process looks like?
All right. Uh, be it a college graduate who is new to the domain, or be it someone who's an aspirant, or be it someone who's in a product team who has a sudden like new idea in his mind, so he wants to suggest to his product manager or something. So I would suggest let him do a proper sketch. Let him do a process. Let him think. Okay, if I put it this way, what will the outcome be? Rather than
Hmm.
just blindly going and implementing it, it's better to run through it. It's better to validate it in paper sketches because I can see a lot of designers are tempted with the tools because
Right.
they are they want to get sit on the Photoshop or Illustrator or XD or Sketch. A lot of designers are telling about this, but still it's being a thing because everybody gets excited to use the tool, to use the
Exactly.
colors, thing to pop the design and everything. But that is the end part. The main part is laying the foundation. Okay, this is
Okay.
how it is going to work. This is the thing, and you have to streamline the process. Be sure about it. Then we can get our hands dirty with your visual design skills and whatever it is. But I would suggest the process is a key thing in design, which most of the designers do it just for sake.
Okay.
I think that trend is just evolving these days. A lot of designers are talking about process and everything. When we talk about process, there are a lot of process. It's not a typical rule that you should follow this process only. We have a
Okay.
lot of process in trend like design thinking, Google's venture design process, and lots more.
Okay.
If we are picking design thinking process, it needn't be necessary that we have to follow each and every stage throughout the product cycle. We can pick which is suitable for us and which would help for us. So we can pick and customize our process roadmap, and we can go ahead. That is what I would suggest. But
Okay.
most who are starting out, I would suggest them to like gain in-depth knowledge about their process, and parallelly they can develop their visual design skills as well. That is the fun part. It's like you can treat it as a reward for dwelling in the knowledge project, because this knowledge will back you up. Like whatever, it will make you more decisive. It will make
Right.
you yeah, it will help you to see the future roadmap when we are
Okay.
talking about a new feature or update or next venture or whatever it is. So
Okay.
that is what.
You prefer suggest to people that even go old school, try with pen and paper, try with basic, like put your thoughts on paper. Maybe it doesn't look good visually, but it will give you an idea that what you are trying to invest your time with a tool or something, right? Cool. So, if you're like, let's say we talk about working on steps or how someone should start, like if you can even explain us with an example or your experience of working on some product, how does that looks like when they're actually working on something?
Alright. So, being a designer, there is one beautiful part of it is because you get to explore lots of domain.
Right.
When you sit with the fintech application, you'll become a fintech expert because you have to gain some domain knowledge, right? So
Right.
you'll spend a lot of time understanding, because you can't design for a product without having a domain knowledge at all. You have to understand the domain first.
You cannot
Then you
fake it for a longer
have
time. You have to
to
like get into that
exactly. You can't
domain.
relate to it also. So you have to understand the domain knowledge first, then you have
Right.
to understand from user's standpoint, then from business requirements, then you have to streamline the process. So if you sit with B2C customer product like maybe delivery app or something, then it's a bit different. Then you are
Right.
dealing with like bit of imagination, then dealing with how the delivery boys would react and everything. So every time when you spend with different domains, one thing is you should not be scared by the domain, even if it's very crucial, because a lot of B2B products have some technical like complexity. Say for example, blockchain. Not lot of designers into blockchain.
Right.
So when they're starting out designing for blockchain, even I was very new when I started designing for a
Right.
blockchain project. So I spent enough time, and it was like it was very fascinating. So I fell into the rabbit hole and started binge reading about it. Now I'm pretty cool. I'm happy with gaining the domain insight and everything.
Right.
Every time when we face a project, we should gain up the guts. We should pack up our things, and we should set our mind that we should prepare about it, we should read about it, we should dwell into the area, we should be aware of the playground first before setting out our play. So that is what I would say. Then starting out, after understanding the domain knowledge only, we will be able to plan a roadmap. So then only you will understand
Okay.
what the person is telling us. So
Okay.
what is the problem? Until then, it will just be his assumption or whatever it is. Then we have to validate the problem what has been given to us. Whether if there is really a problem is existing, is this just an assumption? Do we have any facts or any statistics to back up this problem? And the next question is, are people really looking for a solution right now, or are there any indirect solutions available right now? So if we look out for that, then we might get different idea than what the business person is proposing to us. As a designers, it's our duty to suggest them what would be the proper solution to them.
Okay.
Because most of the business ideas would be like a problem and a solution format only. So I would suggest designers can go as creative as possible and to bring out a very innovative and implementable solution, which is usable and accessible to all users.
Okay.
I would suggest.
Okay, so maybe from some of these parts, there might be a chances that founders or entrepreneurs, when working on something, maybe on initial level as an MVP, uh, they might have done research, or they must be doing certain user side research, or some of the checks following that, are they valid or they are feasible enough for a users or something. What comes under design research before coming on to using a tool and preparing the sketches?
Um, Coming to the design research, when it's very specific to your product, so user research is a very key essential part. When we
Right.
talk about, we can segregate into three stages. One is research and strategy, next is user
Mm.
experience process, and the third one will be UI design, which is a VD and the beautiful animation parts. So when we can't skip any of these three steps, because obviously one is backing up the other with supporting arguments and everything. So
Right.
starting up with the user research and strategies, so let's say that we are performing a one-on-one interview. So the questionnaire plays a key role. So a good designer would know what a good question to ask,
Okay.
because the right questions will give out right facts and right solutions. Because it's, you know, the art of questioning is, it's bit interesting, because the people might put their biases into the question. Because if I ask you, if I show you an application which will do this and will use science, you would have not seen that application yet, but you will say just in imagination that I would use it. So that is a
Okay.
wrong fact. So the questionnaire should be designed in such a way itself, so that we will get the desired inputs, like what we are actually looking for. Based on the insight collections, only we can streamline our process. So that is what the design, like user research phase is about. So in user research phase, we have lots of techniques what we perform. One is quantitative, other one is qualitative.
Okay.
Quantitative is just to validate if their problem is actually there. When we ask a mass number of people, then we will understand, okay, is there really a problem, or just it's an assumption, like only a little number of crowd is having it. So when we are sure about a lot of people are facing it, then we can go on a one-on-one. Before stepping into one-on-one, it's better to like cluster them into user groups, so that we pick out one persona from every group and have an
Okay.
collect the insights as much as possible. So that is user research. And then stepping into UX design, yeah, again, you get the details and collect the insights, and it's like it's like feeding your content inventory from your first stage.
Okay. Okay, so like there are even different stages when you are talking about UI or UX. There are different stuff to research and put or implement it on the line, right? Cool. I think that's very interesting stuff, because even I was under impression or considering that research, when you do it at the very beginning of the product, and then you directly work on certain things and then implement stuff. But I think it's a parallel activity that one, especially the designers, perform at every stage or every template or every module when they are coming across. And from your explanation, I think one of the even thing that I think we should point out and make our listeners aware, that communication is the key to ask right question, to know the right stuff when you before implementing it. Like, so all the entrepreneurs or the founders, whosoever is working with a design team or trying to focus on design, make sure that you involve designers from the very beginning. Keep them in touch for every smallest discussion, every smallest calls, or all the sprints, or whatever you plan according to your stage of product development. And uh, like, solve the doubt, make them understand what exactly the product, what exactly the user demographic is, which will help them to build something outstanding. uh,
So
all right.
yeah.
uh, Okay, so we have talked about all the process and relevance, importance of research and everything. But one question is just drop in my mind, that there are a lot of team members when you're talking about product development, from founders to developers to business analysts and product managers and designers. So, do you think that experts should lead certain level of decisions, or there is a scope, or there is some room of inputs or creativity when it comes to design level thinking?
Okay. So one of my favorite process is brainstorming, because one
Okay.
can destroy the session or one can make the session a fruitful one. Both are possible. There's a
Okay.
50 probability, because the probability of getting worse will happen when someone starts critiquing the ideas, when it starts blooming out.
Okay.
Because we are not supposed to do that, because everybody will have different perspectives, and every ideas will direct someone to think about something else, which will somehow we will get a good idea at the end of the day. So
Okay.
it should be a constructive meeting, but apparently most of the brainstorming sessions would end up like a debate or something. So that is something should be avoided. I think in that part, experts should jump in right away and sort it out. Other than that, it's more like inviting people to the party. It's not like driven by the designers or something, because everybody have the creative part inside them. Everybody have their own perspective, because marketing person would have a different perspective on the product,
Okay.
design person would have a different perspective, as an entrepreneur he will have a different perspective. So
Okay.
based on their perspective, they will have different ideas and different use cases in their mind, what they are nudging about all the time. So it's more like a party where you invite everybody to contribute, and then finally you have to sort it out in the constructual way, rather than critiquing or mocking others.
Okay.
So out of the fruitful session, I think best brainstorming sessions, which is short and crisp, will give you great ideas. Sometimes brainstorming sessions will go like award functions, like for days and days. Even in WhatsApp groups it will continue. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that is one thing I wanted to register. It's not like brainstorming sessions should be driven only by designers, because just because designers tend to be creative, because every creative at some point of time.
Right, right. It's
Uh,
about taking an interest as well. That, if you ask somebody, you might come across a very good idea, which you can
exactly.
discuss with the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And if some non-designer is suggesting an idea, it's a duty of a designer to, hey, that idea is very cool. Let me put it in paper, pen, sketch, or something. Let's validate it. I'll add on some of my thoughts to it, and let's bring it alive. So that's how the construction should be.
Right,
It
right.
should be like other way around, where you tell them, oh, no, that's not going to work. No, this is a very bad idea. That sucks or something.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, you should appreciate and consider each everyone's point, not just as an UX UI designers. But when it comes to when people look for a UX or a UI differences, or what comes along with what section, how can you simply make someone understand that what are why there are two different sections, and what are their own importance when it comes to UI or when it comes to UX?
that's a very great question, which keeps revolving in the design industry for a long time.
Yeah.
Generally, people have confusion between what is UX UI designer, what is UX designer, what is UI designer, and what is a digital product designer. Because it's very confusing, because the terminology UX and UI itself is not defined properly.
Right.
Uh, like, people have misconceptions about the terminology, since it has become a buzzword. So user experience is more concerned about the experience only. We are going to streamline an experience to the user. So let's imagine it needn't be a digital product. You can imagine an experience at a mall or store, or maybe even your transportation in a bus or something, while you're using a service. So that experience is being designed. That experience is the end product of your user experience process. So while focusing on user experience, we see the final product where you have the colorful branded item. So
Okay.
what you'll see is what the user would be performing, what will be his actions, and what will be his behavior, and you will design for his behavior. Let me put
Okay.
it this way. So there is something called designing for users' behavior. So let's say there's a crowd, there's a store, and there are a lot of people standing outside. They're very crowded, and it's very tough to manage. So we might tell people that people don't have the sense to stand in queue. Okay,
Right.
so that might be the problem out there, but that is not actually the problem. We should have streamlined the queue there.
Right.
That line is wrong there. So if we have organized a queue, and if we have organized some volunteers out there, people will automatically stand in queue. So the design is impacting the behavior indirectly. So people will
Okay.
not be there. You
Okay.
can't instruct the users directly. Rather than instructing them directly, you have to design in such a way that they are doing it without their consciousness. So that's
Okay.
how the design will be effective. So right, that's how I think most of the disruptive innovations have taken part till now. Yeah,
Okay.
that
So,
is about UX. Yeah, that is
right.
it. coming to UI, it's more like we can't tell that UI would feel very bad that UI is not that really important. Well, UI is also important, just that just stands out in the last cycle, because you have
Okay.
to be sure about your product, you sure about the flow, sure about the process. Then you can step into your UI, beautify it with all your visual design skills, all the micro interactions, all the delightfulness and everything, because users need has been evolved to user satisfaction, and users are expecting delight these days,
Yeah.
because when they use the product they want to feel like luxury.
And there is
And
now huge, I mean, UI is a big deal now to impress somebody
yeah,
from the eye.
it works fast now, they'll ask, oh, this is not rewarding me, this is not giving me happy emotions or something, I'm not using this product. So that kind of expectations are happening, because
Right.
yeah, we are setting the bars high every time. So yeah, even they are evolving, we should also be evolving with our products and services, which are like approach them with greatly designed products.
Okay, so both have their own importance, and I think it's about balancing out the things, but you cannot live without any of those very key important like sections of UX and UI. Uh, if we sum up the whole discussion, what would you suggest as an pointers for somebody when they are working on product designing? Of how does their whole phase looks like, and any duration? Do we? I mean, do you suggest that okay, it should take this much of time? We should not spend some extreme time on the designing, or what's your say on this?
Alright. Yeah, this time frame will be a problem, and it varies highly based on the team size. So if
Okay.
there is a solo designer, or if there is a bunch of 3 or 4 people, or if there is a dedicated team of 15 people, the time frame would differ, and the distribution of work would also differ. So the problem is different with the number of the team size as well. So if we are starting out as a product, I would say for the solo designers, that let's not take too much on our plate. We can focus only on certain things on priority basis, and allot time periods for regular iterations and validations. Even if
Okay.
we have not finished it or something, let's get feedback on what we are trying to do. So I think we can avoid the efforts what we are going to put ahead, and we can be sure that we are marching towards the right direction. That is what I would say. And yeah, the regular checkpoints with every team member who's involved in the product would also be helpful, because everybody will be aware what product are they developing. It's not like the developer should see the designs only at the end of design handoff or something. He can
Okay.
be invited into the daily stand-up meeting where we discuss about the designs, so he can understand what is the feasibility and what he should be prepared even before starting his development and all. So that is one thing. And designers, when they start looking at the product idea, so they will be all excited with the use cases and everything, so they just start using their tools. So that should be avoided. They have to sit with their paper, sketch, pen, they have to write down the process, they have to do some process. That is what I keep repeating to everybody who comes and asks me how do I step into this field.
Okay.
You have to sit with your paper, pen, somehow buy a sketchbook or whatever it is, sit with a paper, pen, write it down, all your ideas, all your constraints, all the competitor ideas and everything. Jot down your own process. Don't get influenced by some market industry led process that might work for them, it might not work for us. So pick
Right.
out the process and stages wisely, and document the process throughout. Say for
Okay.
example, a startup is a startup at initial stage. It might scale to a company in 5 to 6
Right.
years.
Right.
So the data what we have collected, like in the initial stage, should back up when you are scaling it. So
Okay.
document the process every time, so that it backs you up every time when you are setting up your new venture or new upgrade or whatever it is. That
Right.
is, I would, because documentation is a key part, crucial part.
Okay.
uh, yeah, that is one thing. And don't be hard on yourself, because if you are a designer, you can't be creative all the time.
Okay.
So you are having a creative block, you can talk with your team, you can get insights from them, because sometimes we might not be having any inspirations to do it, or we might not have the right knowledge, like right data inside our head. So it's okay, we can acknowledge, we can talk with our product team. They would have read about some article, or they would suggest you something. So we can have informal sessions meanwhile then and there,
Yeah.
so that we deal with everybody. And
Okay.
one more thing, I thought I would suggest, because while you're presenting your UI designs, no, that is the key role. People might reject your UI designs because of color, placements, or whatever it is. So I would suggest, don't show your pixel perfect UI designs initially. Tell them what was the problem, what was your solution, and what you have planned for it. Then tell the story behind your UI screen. Then show your
Okay.
UI. If you just show your UI, your product manager or someone will not have an idea. He will just look at your orange color or pink color, and he will start questioning, why is that color, and why is this in the square, or why is this button big.
Explain
So
them why you have done it by spending few minutes.
in
Okay.
order to avoid all those questions or bullets targeting us, it's better to set the stage, set the mood,
Okay.
before letting your designs, revealing your design. So that is one thing. And yeah, obviously we'll get feedbacks, like which is critics, as well as sometimes it's
Definitely.
as well. But that's okay. It's our job, right? So
And I
we
think
have to.
that's how you make the
Yeah,
best out of something
yeah.
from the
It should not.
feedbacks.
Yeah, it should not be one way only, because it should not be like getting all the comments all the time and implementing it. Because
Right.
we should back up our decision also. We would have taken some design decision based on our insights and our thought process. Yeah, we can discuss that and get the feedback from other end as well. So there might be a chance that one of us might get convinced, and we might understand. Okay, this is a problem. We have to fix it. So it should go like that. I think it should go more like a two-way process, rather than just passing out instructions and finishing it. That is what I say. Because junior designers, when they're starting out, no, they'll just do whatever we ask for,
Okay.
and so they have the proper idea in their mind. They won't let it out like
Okay.
loudly. That is
Nice.
what. Yeah, I think.
I think, yeah, you have covered almost all the points and everything about designing process and important key areas. Uh, Thank you for the detailed insights, and maybe I think I have drawn down to a life journey of a designer in this few minutes. I have understood many things, and I'm sure our listeners and audience must have learned certain key important areas. At the end, I think before I end this session, uh, uh, I would just suggest like entrepreneurs or founders, whosoever it, consider this uh, phase of whole design, considering be it a simple design or a UX UI, depends on your idea, execution, and product. But make sure that you're investing your time in this, and you can pick these important key areas which we discussed as a part of your implementation process. Uh, Thanks a lot, Jiva, for all the inputs.
Yeah, it was wonderful session. It was nice time talking to you. Yeah.
Same here, same here. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thanks. Bye. Hope you enjoy listening this podcast. It was an episode number 2 of an Insight product series where we talked about UX UI design in all in and out, and how you can make your product extraordinary with this important phase called UX UI designing. Stay tuned for more upcoming interesting topics like product development, marketing aspects, or even how you can raise a fund for your product. Follow us wherever you are listening this podcast, or you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Thank you and stay tuned. Take care.